Hey, everybody. How are you today? So, I am on StreamYard today, and I'm super excited because I have Teyonah Parris joining me, who I used to have the pleasure of working with her beautiful texture for hair. And I have Sandra joining me as well, Sandra Nakawunde. I think Sandra is trying to sign on now. Hey, Alfreda. And she's in the UK. So there's a few little challenges, but I'm going to bring Teyonah in because I'm just super excited that she's here. Hi. Hi. Okay, let's let a few more people join us. A few more people are coming in, and I can't wait for y'all to see Teyonah in this gorgeous hair. I mean, you look at her all the time, I'm sure, on Instagram and Facebook and all the wonderful movies she's done. But just to be here and to see this texture for hair live is like a pleasure. It's a pleasure for me because I just love me some natural hair. Uh-oh, where'd she go? She was waiting behind stage and now she's not. Anyway, so we're going to get going here. Um, and I'm going to try, let's see if I can bring her back in. This technology is something because everything is like connected to, and we rely on it so heavily. So let's see if I can get Teyonah back. Um, let's see if we can get her back here on StreamYard with us. But she's there. Oh, yay, she's back. Okay, cool. And I don't know where Sandra is, but Teyonah's here. And say, ah! Can you hear? Yeah, there you go.
I hear you now. Yes, I can hear you.
That's great. Yeah, it disappeared. I was like, oh, what happened?
I didn't have volume, so I was like, let me sign out and come back in.
And someone's trying to join us, but I think she's having some technical difficulties because she's in the UK and there's something happening with the pop up. Yeah, and I'm sad about that. So I'm hoping that she can be on. Oh, she's trying to get in there. I see it. I'm hoping that this is her. Yay! Yes!
Ah! I'm here. I made it.
Yes.
I was so stressed. I'm like pulling out my hair.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
This is great. This is great. So this is my first time on here, but I like it because people can kind of like ask you questions. It'll pop up on the bottom. I can see you all. You look beautiful, and I want to touch the hair, but we're on social distance right now, so I can't do it. But thank you both for joining me. This month is dedicated to texture for hair. And I, for the last 4 weeks, have been doing Get Cute While Quarantined with Felicia Leatherwood. What happened was I got a lot of messages and DMs and personal face time calls from a lot of actresses in Hollywood. And they were like, look at this. Look at me. What's going on?
I have no wigs to put in, no wigs to put on. Help me.
Yeah. And everybody kind of like freaked out for a second without their hairstylist or their barber, which is understandable. And so I said, you know what? Because I was like at the computer all the time, typing, trying to answer all this. And I said, let me just do some live webinars with I got my 2 little doll heads in the back. And neither one of them have you guys' texture, but I'll be trying to work it out. So I wanted to just bring y'all on so that everybody can talk to you and basically understand like how beautiful texture for is. The thing with texture for hair is I just don't feel like it gets enough shine. You know what I mean? I feel like it's always been looked at as like bad hair or something negative. They use the NAPPY word. I don't use that word, but
me neither.
Yeah, so it's just always got a bad rap. There weren't really any products for texture for or tools, which is why I created my Felicia Leatherwood brush. I'm gonna shout that out right now. I'm just telling you. And so it just never really like people don't look at page 4 until they look at the both of you and go, oh my God, that's beautiful. Usually when people talk to me about having textured hair, they don't feel good about it. Uh, they don't feel like it's been positive growing up. They've had a lot of issues. So basically, I just wanted to ask you guys, and I'm gonna start with Teyonah. Like, what did your first natural hair inspiration come from? Like, who inspired you first with natural hair?
So I went natural very late. I guess I would say late. I was an adult in life. So I mean, like, what was the inspiration? I think, what it was I didn't have a clue what my own natural hair did. I got a perm when I was like 8, and I had just been getting it every 3 weeks or, whatever, 6 weeks, whatever it was. I think it's 6 weeks. Up until like college. And then I was like, damn, what does my own hair do? And so I went on this whole journey. And at that time it was like 2008, I want to say. And so there wasn't a whole lot of visibility of brown women with natural hair on the red carpet, because I also had aspirations to be an actress and to do all these movie star things, but no one looked like me. And even I remember I had someone very close to me say, well, why would you go natural? Beyonce is not natural. And she, because those were the hopes and goals, and they didn't mean it. What's funny is they too were natural. So they meant it from a good place, because they were like, I know you have these hopes and dreams. Why would you do anything that might hinder it and not help you? So I remember looking in the in entertainment, and there was oh gosh, what's her name? She plays the cello, I want to say. She's famous.
Okay.
I know. I can't. Her name somebody might throw it out here. She's so famous. But anyways, at the time it was her who was visible. I'm gonna kick myself for not knowing this. She sings and she plays the cello. Oh man.
Oh. Look, now you got me messed up. Sandra,
it's gonna bother me. I'll come back with her name in a minute. But visibly on carpets and stuff at that moment, who I would see was her and Solange. And they would wear their hair.
Somebody said Esperanza.
Yes, thank you. I don't see comments. You see comments?
Yeah, I can see it if you put on the side, there's an area that lets you see comments that are not private. You and I would probably on a private one, but there's a live one.
Oh, I don't know how to do it. I'll do it in a minute. So Esperanza and Solange were the two women who were visibly on the carpets, and they often wore theirs in big carefree afros. And so that was inspiring, because I'm like, if they can do it, wow, I could do that. But that's not necessarily what I wanted to do. I didn't really want my whole afro out. I just wanted to embrace my hair. So then when we hooked up, I was able to integrate those two desires together. But anyways, that's a long story. We can talk about that later. That is what was inspiring for me. Let me try to think
people always ask me, like, is there anybody you haven't done hair on that you would like to do? And I was like, Esperanza. Yeah. She's one person I haven't. And when it comes to like doing hair, for me, it's all about just touching it. I just love touching textured hair. Sandra, you and I got a chance to work together in Paris.
Yes, I know, it was so amazing.
Your hair, thank you. Your hair is incredible, and they have your posted everywhere. Like literally, I see that like there's a hairstyle. I had a funny story, and I do want you to still answer that question. But do you remember, Sandra, that hairstyle that they had me put on you? Do you remember that? And they were like,
yes.
That hairstyle I got from you.
I remember, because you had the mood board, and you had my picture on your mood board. I was like, but wait.
They're like, Felicia, recreate this style you did, because I did it on Sky Jackson, and they were like, recreate it on you, and I was like, she actually gave me the idea, so that was probably an embarrassing moment for me, right? But nobody knew. Nobody. So Sandra, tell me, who was your first inspiration for your natural?
No, it was totally cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So my story is a bit different because I've always been natural. And I think my mum's influence was she went through all the Jerry curl, the bad trials and tribulations of relaxing her hair. And she was adamant that I wouldn't go through it. So when I was growing up in London, I didn't really have like all these other celebrities and stuff to look for because it wasn't big in the media at the time. So it was more so, how do I make myself look cute and go to school, because all my friends were relaxed. And I kind of just had to navigate that and build my own story because I didn't really see my texture in the media. I saw like looser curl patterns. So I can't really say that I had like one key inspiration. It was just like, this is my situation. I have to manage it in a good way and look presentable. So I had to learn how to style my hair for different occasions more than like look for other people, like what they're doing, because I didn't have that example. Yeah.
So, and you're in London, and I remember the natural hair movement in London, it was going slow. It moved slow, and now it seems kind of quiet, a bit quiet now.
Yeah. But there was like a peak when we were looking at the US, more London bloggers and stuff started YouTubing and like getting into the community, and that's how it started growing. But yeah, you guys moved at a lot faster rate than we did.
Okay. Oh well. Yeah, and hopefully we're still doing it while we're on quarantine. So, I often talk to women who they're saying, there's not enough, they can't figure out these hairstyles. They just can't. And they go on YouTube and they get lost. But you both really navigate these hairstyles well. So do you use YouTube at all, Teyonah? Do you how do you even come up with some of the hairstyles you do on your own?
Me?
I don't do hairstyles on my own. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sandra. Maybe you're having some difficulty. I was gonna say I don't really do hairstyles on my own. When I'm left to my own devices, I'm trying to be in some twists, some braids, anything. Because let me tell you, Felicia, you almost got that FaceTime where I was like, I'm about to cut it off. I'm so over it. I made the mistake of being on this quarantine and like having a style, and then the style being over, and I just was pineappling it, going to bed for like 2 weeks. When I had to detangle it, oh my gosh, it was like, where are the scissors? I gave myself a quarantine trim. I said, I know I should not be doing this, but this is where we are. And then I said, let me put a protective style in. So I put in some mini twists. And I said, okay, I had those for like a week and a half. I said, well, I'm getting on this thing with Felicia. Let me take them out. I didn't know it was going to be cute.
It is cute.
Thank you. So, yeah, I do look at YouTube, but I would get very frustrated with YouTube because I wouldn't see, especially early in my journey, when I wasn't seeing women whose hair actually was my texture. And so I would look at, I didn't realize early in my journey, I didn't realize that there were differences. And so I would see the girl with the 3C hair or 4A even, and she's doing these styles. And I'm like pulling my hair out because I'm like, how come my hair doesn't do that? We both have natural hair. I thought it was all the same. And then I started learning more and understanding more. And I'll be honest, even to this day, during this quarantine, having to actually deal and manipulate it myself more often, because I'm used to being in braids to put a wig on because I don't let them use my hair on set. But that later. But I just was like, why isn't my hair doing what this girl on the video's hair is doing? I thought the mini twists I had, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a nice, cute, protective style. But the way I saw the girls on Instagram and YouTube, theirs actually looked like a real hairstyle. I'm gonna show you what mine looked like. Why don't mine look like this? This is what I was walking around looking like. Where the camera at?
But why
and your face as well?
Yeah, the face.
Dang it. But I wanted to ask you about that, but let Sandra go ahead and say her piece because I was confused.
You're so funny. So with me, I do look at other people's YouTube just because I'm nosy. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you trying? And I'm a product junkie, so I'm always like trying to get more stuff to experiment with. What I did learn also is just realizing my hair is not the same curl type. So when people are like, put coconut oil, I was like, okay, I'll put coconut oil. And it just didn't work for me. So I just learned by experiment. Like, not everything is for you. You have to listen and learn your own hair. So even though everyone else is doing something, you don't have to copy it because you can have a bad accident. So with the YouTube, it was like nice that you got all this inspiration, but it wasn't all attainable. So I'm like, I watch it within reason. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm not even going to bother because that looks complicated.
No, seriously. It's YouTube. You can get really confused, especially if you're not following someone that has your hair texture. That's the thing.
Right.
That right there is number one. I always tell people, look, if you got Whoopi Goldberg hair and you looking at Tracy Ellis Ross, talking about I want that, you starting off wrong right there. Like that is not.
Yeah.
That's not
your story.
So, but wait. So Teyonah, you were saying you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Let me see that picture again because that picture. I wasn't expecting that.
Explain to me how come when my mini twist, like you guys don't know that. I mean, you can see it's thick, but my hair is thick. So I said, oh, when I put the mini twist in, it's gonna obviously it gets thinner because of the curls and stuff. But I was like, it's gonna be a style. This is what I look like. Oh my gosh, they just look so scraggly and thin.
You know what I mean?
I know what I love.
You're giving me color purple. You got purple right there.
I was giving me color purple and I didn't understand. Why does mine look like this?
What?
But sometimes the best twist outs come from twists that looks like that.
Well, this is from that. Where's the camera? This is from that. So I was like, dang, this is pretty. But I wanted the twist to also be a style. And it just wasn't. So I just wanted to know if you have any explanation as to how my hair can be so thick. And then I put these twists in and it looks so scraggly.
Well, I don't even have the answer. I don't know what happened. You know, like I don't even have the answer. You know what I will say as a hairstylist? When we are doing you guys' hair, it will look like we put all kind of things in our hair to get to achieve the final look, and we do look a little crazy. You know, even the ones, the ones where you stretch your hair out by banding it, wrapping the band around you. That one looks really nuts before you go to bed, but the result is amazing. And I think with like hair, especially you guys have super thick hair, is when you put it on lockdown and you force it to be in those twists, it's like the retaliation is like, I'm about to make you look crazy, so you can't leave the house now.
Well,
you're not gonna leave the house now.
I put it in a braid, then I put it in a ponytail just to work out to keep it stretched so it wouldn't be knotting up on itself. So, and that's the other thing, like, even though I'm wearing this out, I'm nervous. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna knot up. I'm gonna look cute today, but how long do I have before I really need to sit down and put it back in a protective style?
You probably have
2 days,
36 hours.
That's about right.
Just put a timer on it. Just set a timer up. Be like, okay, and have a countdown to like when it's about to go bad. Like
it's gonna revert and start knotting up on itself. But I think that's also part of this process is learning that and accepting and embracing, not accepting because it's not a bad thing. It's just embracing that I'll have that hairstyle for 36 hours and then it is my responsibility to put it in a protective style or I'm going to have knots everywhere. And that's just what it is.
Well, but also speaking of that, shrinkage. How many of us like shrinkage?
I love shrinkage. Oh, where is that?
Okay,
I'm learning to embrace it.
Mini twist.
Look, that is Sandra. How do you feel about shrinkage?
I'm learning to embrace it. Like before, I used to hate it because I'd spend ages stretching my hair, and then I'll walk out and like humidity would hit me, or suddenly it rains in London, and it would just annoy me. So rather than getting angry, I'm like, okay, let's just work with whatever my hair's going to do today. So if it shrinks, then we'll pin it up. I always have like some bobby pins and a hairband in my bag.
You ready?
Like I'm just ready for what it's going to do.
Yeah, you be ready. That's excellent. So
I love shrinkage. Sorry.
Okay, so talk to me about that, because I am constantly trying to inspire women to embrace the shrinkage. I call shrinkage our own little magic trick. It is.
It is magic.
Nobody else can do it like we do it.
When I took the twist out, they were like here, because they were stretched and stuff. I mean, it is what it is. But I was in there spraying the bottom, like, please go up. I want it to be shorter and rounder. You know what I mean? Like where some people might be pulling it, trying to get it this way. I just like the way it looks. I mean, I didn't care for it with my little mini twist. They just was hungry looking. But in general, I like the shrinking, fluffy look.
Yeah.
But how did you even, did you always right off the back embrace shrinkage? Because who does that?
Right.
I think like I said, I like how juicy it looks. And I guess when my hair is closer, it looks juicy and big and thick and fluffy. I just like it. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. That's just how
you're so cute. Like, you can pretty much wear anything. So we already know. You don't have to do much.
Thanks, boo. I also just was like Sandra was saying, you just kind of have to embrace it. I never really didn't like it. You just have to embrace it. I didn't understand it at first. That's the thing. I was like, well, how come mine? I just did the dang twist like the girl on the YouTube. Why are mine going up? And then I was like, oh, I actually like that better. Let me keep it up. So, yeah.
Let us.
Now I'm seeing comments.
Yeah, I can pop them in.
Oh, I still don't see the chat, but
it's on the side. I think it's on the side of yours. It may be different.
Maybe because I'm on a iPad, the tablet.
Oh. Yeah. So Sandra, like, you always embrace dress shrinkage?
So with mine, I prefer my hair when it's stretched, because then I don't have to manipulate it very often, and then the combing it is just tiring. My arms need a break. So I just prefer to keep my hair mostly in a stretched state. So I'll always like twist it at night or braid it down, so in the morning it's ready to go, and then I don't have to spend extra time. Like, I'd rather sleep than detangle my hair in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you blow dry your hair like the style you have now? Is that blown out or just stretched?
Yes. It was blow dried, and then I had it in flat twist today, and I just took it out. So it's just like fluffy. Okay. Yeah.
Sandra has a video where she takes, it's one hairstyle, and you've made 4 or 5 different hairstyles. You've changed it. You know that video?
Which one are you talking about?
Which one?
So many things. So I tried to show that natural hair is versatile. So most of my videos, it can be like transformed. Like, you can take the basic look and maybe switch it quite easily, like from like a ponytail into a bun. You can add some accessories, like, just to make it easy. So I'm not really sure which one you're referring to.
Yeah.
Is it on TikTok maybe?
I put it on my page.
That definitely speaks to learning how to take it in steps. Like I said, I had mini twists as a protective style for 10 days. Now this, and then I'll probably move to a poof, and then we'll probably move to braids. Like, just learning what style suits each stage you're in.
You saying
and how to make it stretch to the next wash day.
That's it right there. That's what everybody wants to know. That's what I've been up to with this whole get cute while quarantine. Is taking one hairstyle, turning it into 3 or 4 different hairstyles so that you don't have to touch your hair. Because I don't know if you both agree with me. I feel like texture 4, less is more. Like, and that's my motto. Texture 4, less is more. The least thing you do to it, the better. Yep, the better. Yep. It's just like, okay, I'm good here. But I will say, if you have a good regimen and your hair is used to it and it knows, okay, we're going to eat on Saturday or Sunday. That's when we're going to do our deep condition. We're going to relax on Monday. If if you treat it the same all the time, then it gets used to that. It gets used to the touch and you operating with it a certain way. But people who are just starting out, a lot of times they buy a bunch of products. They trying to use all of them at one time. It goes bad. They send me crazy emails. And I'm like,
she put her hand up.
But I had a young lady. I had a young lady. She did a clarifying shampoo. She did apple cider vinegar rinse. She did a mask.
All in the same day now, ain't that?
You already know what
that time.
Dry. It was dry.
Dry. Exactly. And so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Don't go too hard in the paint. And I can always tell when someone hasn't fooled with their hair in a while because they'll do all of these things at one time. Because they're like, oh, wait a minute. Let me just blah with it.
Quick fix.
And that's the other thing is like, because obviously, for me, I see all those things on YouTube and I'm like, okay, well, if I put it all together, then I'm going to really be popping. But the thing about understanding hair care, which is like where I'm like, what you do is not something that we just because we like hair know, what you do is a real profession, understanding actual hair care, because what we fail to understand is that what do those things actually accomplish? They're stripping, they're drying, and sometimes you need one, but then you as a professional would do the other thing to make it swing back the other way or whatever that is. And us just seeing it on YouTube is like, oh, well, if they did it, I should do it. And that's how we get into trouble, is because we're not actually understanding the science and the that part of how you actually care for your hair.
No, it is so true. There's a lot of steps. I'm not even going to lie to anybody out there. But once you do it, it's like cooking. You just get used to it. And it doesn't feel like it's a whole task. Sandra, somebody on here was asking how to start a good hair care regimen. And I think you can really speak to that. What are your tips for starting a good hair care regimen?
So you can start in all kinds of ways. I think you need the basic ingredients. So a good shampoo, a good deep conditioner, a good leave-in conditioner, and a moisturizer. And it's about finding which products work for your hair. There is no one size fits all. So you might have to experiment at the beginning, but then being consistent with your routine. So for me, every 7 to 10 days, I will wash my hair. And with each wash day, I will deep condition because I know that my hair needs that moisture. And then during the week, if it's feeling dry, I will re-moisturize. I don't do it regimented like every 2 days, but I work also according to like the weather, the climate that I'm currently in. If it's the winter season and it's more dry, then I'll add some more moisture if my hair needs it. And then just like not neglecting your hair if it's under braids or in a protective style, in a wig or anything like that, looking after your scalp regularly. So like, it's hard to say because everyone's lifestyle is different, but I try to encourage, because I've been doing one-to-ones with people and I've been trying to say, like, put the hair care into your daily routine. So like, if you keep forgetting to moisturize your hair, do it just before you put your bonnet on before bed, or when you take off your bonnet, then add some moisture before your day starts. So then it's kind of like, oh, this is the time to do it, rather than I need to find an hour in my day to look after my hair. It's already part of your day. So it's just about building it to make it make sense to your lifestyle, so that you also remember to look after it.
I love it. So one of the things that I often say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. I actually got that from my friend Sheree, and it's become kind of a motto. So in terms of your hair and your regimen, do you feel like you treat your hair the same way you treat the rest of your body, the rest of your life, how you take care of yourself? Teyonah's looking
I
at
find
Go ahead,
I
Sandra.
find doing my hair is like therapeutic. It's like my self-care moment. My daughter's not in the bathroom with me. Like, it's my time. So I enjoy it. It's part of how I love myself. I probably look after my hair more than I do the rest of my body, to be honest.
Okay. And by the way, your daughter in your videos, that little hand coming around
Yeah, a
thing.
little reach.
Oh my God, it's so cute. So, and Teyonah, what do you think about that?
It is not what Sandra said. It is not that. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that. I guess like with my hair, like I said, right now, I'm doing it and I'm enjoying seeing it. But I'm ready to have some braids or twists in it so I don't have to deal with it. Like, I just don't want to do it. And I'm trying to think, I guess that's how other parts of my life are. I'm like, I just want to get it done or have somebody do something so that I can move on. So I guess that's pretty similar. Yeah, but it's so interesting because like I said, most of the year I'm in some kind of protective style, either flat, straight backs to go under a wig, or if I have 4 to 6 weeks, I go and put some twists or braids in, so that I can just live my life and not think about my hair.
Yeah.
So this is actually the most I've had my hair out in a couple years. And I, of course, when it's not out, I'm like, oh, I miss my hair, I miss my fluffy cloud. And now I'm like, anybody want to break this quarantine? I'm joking. Braid me up, but
Well, when you moved away, I was so sad. So Tiana's hair and I, we had a love affair for a while, for a few years, maybe, right? 2, 3 years.
yeah,
And then she left to go do Survivor's Remorse. Was that when you left?
yeah, I
Or
think
Chirac?
so.
What? So when you left, you went to, where did I see you? In New York or Atlanta, I
New
think.
York.
Maybe it was,
We
okay.
filmed in Atlanta, but New York, yeah.
And I was just like, you know how like people haven't seen each other in a while and they run and hug? That's what I wanted to do with her hair. Her hair was like, ah! And I was like, ah!
I miss you.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, incredible. One of the things that I remember when working with your hair is you always, like, people are like, oh, you created all these styles. No, Teyonah and I created them because you always had a really good sense of which direction to take your hair in, like what was the side of your face where you wanted the hair on. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know the angles. And I often wonder, how did you figure that out? Like, how do you know, okay, my part looks better over here versus over here? Or don't split it down the middle, because like, how do you know?
I guess it's just what you like. And like with our very first time working together, wasn't that the SAG Awards? Or like that was,
the SAG
yeah, it
Awards.
was the SAG Awards. So like with that, I remember being so particular because my mother was also there in the apartment getting ready with me. And she was like, oh, I don't know. And Felicia and I, this is our first time working together. And Felicia's a master at what she does and she has her vision. But I too had a vision because I was like, Mom, everybody say, don't wear your natural hair on the carpet. Don't do it. And I had such a specific thing of like, this can be sleek. It can be beautiful. Here is an inspiration picture. Like, let's try to figure this out. And I don't want to use any added hair. Like, so you and I had to figure out that language and what you ended up ultimately creating. Because I know, like, it morphed so many times and we were all getting stressed out. And my mom was like, just put it in a bun. Like, but Felicia is so patient and has such a calm energy. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm kind of like, I get hyper and excited, but I just had such a vision for this because I was like, I feel like women are going to see this and it's going to change the game in a way that I needed it changed for me, for myself.
You remember what you said to me? You said, I want to inspire young girls to love their natural hair. That's what you said to me. And that was huge. No one ever said that to me. The first time I'm doing their hair, never heard that.
Well, you definitely helped me. Like, it wouldn't have happened if your hands and your vision weren't able to bring out what was in my head and in my heart. It just was a thing where I was like I said, I've seen afros, I've seen the big beautiful Diana, but what I haven't seen is somebody use just their hair to create a sleek, what people would call professional, elegant hairstyle. And I want to show that we can do it. We can do that just fine. And so that was, I love that hairstyle.
That hairstyle was great. I mean, it blew everybody's mind. Even the white folks was like, wait a minute. I remember they were freaking out, like, we've never seen it. They didn't know what to say. It was so stunning. And I don't know that people that aren't, I don't know how to say this. I've been watching way too much Black Panther. I will just say, usually people of other ethnicities, when they see us with natural hair, I think they're still trying to figure it out. And so many of us now have shown up with our hair natural. So it's like, what are they up to? What are they doing? Like, and then on top of it, it's gorgeous. So they're like, wait a minute. So this is all their hair, because, you know, when Chris Rock came out with the whole, you know, is that really your hair movie? You know, it started making everybody be like, is that really your hair? Is that your hair? Like, honestly, I have been on photo shoots where people who are not Black have said, is that your hair? And you're like, oh, this is not a question. Is your hair? No one's asked, but it was really like, you felt some personal thing, you know? And so I just remember, like, some of the people, you know, on TV were just stunned, and they were like, how did she do that? And she looks stunning. It literally blew you. You took over the red carpet. That's all I gotta say. You took over it.
That was a personal moment for me. Just being a young girl and a teenager, and even in my after college, like I said, I didn't understand my own natural hair, and so that was like me telling myself, you are okay, you are beautiful, you everything I wanted to see and receive as a young woman who embracing her natural hair. That was what that moment, and still now, meant for me on that carpet. So thank you, Felicia, for helping me bring that out and us offering that to the world, to our young Black women and grown women.
So I'm gonna ask one more question, and then there's some questions that people want to ask before we go. This time went so fast, my God.
Right.
So, Sandra, I'm really curious, and if your hair literally could have a whole conversation with you, what do you think the 3 main things it will tell us about how you take care of it?
Wow, I've never been asked that question before. 3 things. I would say my hair would say, I would say my hair likes that I'm gentle with it, and that's why it's healthy as it is. It probably says I put too much product in it at times, and it's learned what it doesn't like. So my hair will literally like scream at me when I put a bad product in it. Like, it just goes hard and it rebels against me. So I feel like I listen to it more than normal, because we've gone through heat damage. We've gone through like bad stages together, and our relationship is good. So now we understand each other. But yeah, that's such an interesting question. I've never been asked it.
Yeah, I mean, I always, because every time a woman's talking to me about their hair, they're having a conversation with the hair. But what is the hair saying back to us? They're always saying, oh man, you're not working. Why you tripping? I'm crazy today. It's not acting right. Like, they refer to it as she don't want to do anything. So it's like, well, what would the hair say about you? Because half of what happens with our hair is our responsibility to begin with, is how we treat it. So Teyonah, what would your hair say about how you treat it?
My hair would be like, sis, chill. Chill. I am not. So I am gentle, but I lose patience quick, and I'll pick up them scissors very quick. Like, I ain't got time for this. But I will try to be gentle. Like, I'm not like pulling and just snatching. But if you give me a problem, I got something for you. It would probably say chill. I think it would also say, I don't know. It's in my head. Like, basically, I'm still learning. I am still learning. I still have moments where I start self-deprecating because my hair doesn't do or look like it's not easier. Like, I get upset with it because it's not easier for me. It might be easier for someone else, but for me, it's not easy as I would like to manage it. Or like when I was relaxed, I could just pull a ponytail and then it wouldn't be I wouldn't have to deal with the tangle. So I don't really know what my hair is saying about that part of me. But I know it's something I'm still working through. Yeah, and then the third thing it might say is, I don't know, Felicia. That's a hard question. It's a good question.
It is, right?
I definitely challenge you all to, and everyone watching, when you go to the mirror, when you're styling your hair, listen to the conversation that you're having with yourself about your hair, and also invite the conversation your hair would have with you, to let you know if you're doing everything you need to be doing to take care of it. Because I'm telling you, I've been doing hair for over 20 years, and about 70% of how our hair responds is on us. It's our diet, it's what we do regularly as a regimen, it's the products we use, it's when we put it in protective styles, how we just don't care no more about the scalp. There's so many things that we tend to do just to be like, I'm lazy, I don't want to think about this. So what would your hair actually say if it could talk to you about you? So I invite everyone to think about that. Now we're going to just take some questions. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to post them up for the ladies, and make sure you direct the name of who you're asking the question to. Let's see here. Everybody's typing. They're like, wait, they're trying to get their question in. They're trying to get their question in right now.
There's so many comments here.
There's some great comments here. Okay, so let's see. How do you achieve length as a 4C? It never grows out, hide in there somewhere. McCore, I think that's the name. Pretty name. Maybe saying it wrong. Sandra, you talked a little bit about how you stretch your hair. Can you talk in a safe way? Like, how would they achieve length on their 4C hair?
So the first thing is patience. 4C hair does grow. Everyone kind of thinks it's a myth that it doesn't grow. It's the coiling of it that kind of, it springs back, so you think it's not long, but it is. Yeah. And again, being gentle with your hair. So it's about length retention. So even though it's growing, if you're going to be rough with it, like combing it harshly or over manipulating it, then you're going to have breakage of those inches that you've just grown out. So length retention, using like healthy hair habits, wide tooth combs, even stretching it with like braids and twists rather than heat. Those are other ways that you can see the length and maintain it. Covering your hair at night so there's no friction on your pillow. Like you'll always get these little instances where you don't think much difference is going to happen if you go to sleep with your hair out at night, but your hair will tell you a few weeks, a few months down the line that you haven't been looking after it. So like using a satin or silk scarf or bonnet at night or pillowcase, it does make such a big difference on the overall health of your hair. But yeah, it is there. It is hiding, but it's just because of the coil.
I used to wake up looking like Frederick Douglass, his great grandfather. Like my fro
when
would
you put
like,
the water on, it come back.
Yeah, it would be here. The water would bring it back to here, and then I'd have to twist it out to get it to here. So yeah, that's what it was, like a whole thing. So when Sandra talks about like braiding or twisting your hair, she's saying like after you've shampooed and conditioned your hair and it shrinks, put a cream on it, braid it up, twist it up, and then after it dries, the next day go back, put your product on, stretch it out, twist it out, and then you'll see the length. It's when the hair is dry. And I'm not talking about with a blow dryer, but just naturally dry, and then you go back to put the product. That's when you get the length in your twist out. And we could always talk about hair growth and things like that later. But there is a question right here. Any tips to control curly hair, which knots up very quickly, even when using my amazing brush? Thank you. Wow, natural products. Any of y'all have a tip for her?
I was talking about that earlier, Chantal. I don't. What do y'all call it? It's like called fairy knots or something. I struggle, and I had to get on the internet like a week or two ago. Like I was frustrated. Like, why is my hair knotting so bad? I just have it in a doggone pineapple or whatever. So what Felicia, Sandra, y'all got? What's I guess keep it in a protective style, which is what I said I was doing with the mini twist. It's like I just got to keep it stretched in a way and protect it, put up.
I feel like those knots, sometimes they come from wearing too many protective styles, because the synthetic hair will cut into the cuticle layers of your natural hair. And if you don't give yourself a break, like how Teyonah's giving herself a break and deep condition enough or steam treat, it raises the cuticle up. So they curl back and then they grab other hairs and they tangle and it stays frizzy. So when you're applying your product, definitely do go downward so that you're closing the cuticle. Use the praying hands with your product so that you're constantly trying to relax the cuticle and calm it and get it to lay down so that it doesn't knot up so easily. That's my tip. Sandra, you have any?
Just to add to that, normally when I'm getting more tangles and knots, it's because I'm due a trim. And I find that trimming these ends that are dead and just hanging in all kinds of directions does reduce how many knots I get. So having trimming put into like a regular, so I trim quarterly. If you trim regularly, you'll have less knots, I guess, as well.
I see. There's so many great questions. Some of the questions, somebody was asking about self-trimming. If you go on askfelicia.com, there are past or previous webinars where I talk about how to trim your own hair at home, how to get moisture, products for your texture, if you're 3 or 4, which one products work best. So if you don't get your question answered here, you can go to askfelicia.com and you'll see like the videos and you'll see a product list. Let's go to, there's a question for you, Sandra. I know 4C hair can grow and can grow long. However, you're starting to believe that no matter how well she treats her hair, it has reached the limit in mid-back. How do you feel about this? Mid-back is good.
Like,
right?
Like what?
There's no problem with that.
You want to be to her feet.
You know what? You're funny. You crack me up. No, like, wait a minute. Kanisha, where do you how long you want? I think sometimes we just want to see how long it'll grow and then we'll cut it off. you know, but that's pretty good. You can always do the rice water rinse. Just basically boil you some rice, collect the water, and put it in a bottle, let it sit overnight to ferment, spray it on your hair before you shampoo it, let it sit for 20 minutes. And every time you go to shampoo your hair, do that process and you'll look up in probably about 3 months and you'll have some growth and your hair will be shiny and beautiful. And it's cheap and easy and natural. That's my tip. What about you, Sandra?
I haven't tried rice water actually. I think you don't have an issue with growth. You need to just allow it to keep going. Like, how long did it take you to get to mid-back? Because maybe you just need a bit more time to go further than that point. I would say keep doing whatever you're doing because obviously it's working. So you don't have to change. I don't know.
I don't know either. Teyonah, Teyonah, since you're on your own, what's your deep conditioning situation like? Have you been doing it?
Yeah, I use just the products I use. The deep conditioning.
Look at your face. Are you not doing
I'm
deep
trying to
conditioning?
think. I said, like I did. I put conditioner on and I sat under like a hooded dryer. That's the deep conditioner, right?
That's good. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, it's not a specific deep conditioned product, but I put
No.
conditioner in and then sat in it.
Okay. Because sometimes, and it's not, we could talk about products, but that's not it.
Like
Do you have an actual, like, regular deep conditioned day, or people usually slack when it comes to deep conditioning? They usually don't even do it until I mention it. So.
I just do it, I guess, when I feel like maybe I need to get out a calendar and like do like mark these things off. But I think in general, like you said, what does how you treat your hair reflect other things? I just be like, oh, when I get to it, I'll do a face mask when I get to it. It's my skin grease. Okay, if it's breaking, maybe I need a deep conditioner. I'm not like I'm just not.
I made a calendar. I'm actually producing it for Texture 4 to let you know, like, when to use Jamaican black castor oil, when to do clarifying, when to deep condition. Yeah, I literally made a calendar for Texture 4 and Texture 3. So it'll be out.
Like it'll say today is a day for this.
Yeah. Where's my little calendar? I know. I actually have it. Look, I got paper. Look, I made a calendar.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I'm producing the curl calendar. So you'll be able to see like which days to do what, and when to deep condition, when to steam your hair. And then you mark. Yeah, I did a whole thing.
That's great.
Trying to make it easy for folks. Just trying to make it easy. Okay. So how do you know what texture you are? I say when the hair is wet. That's when you know. When you look at the hair and it's wet, and you look to see what zigzag, curl, coil, kink you have. If you have a curl, like a little curly Q curl, it's texture 3, or wave texture 3. If you have coil, kink, coarse, is usually a Z formation, is texture 4. So now, where'd she go? She'll be back. I hope she'll be back.
How do you know the difference, like, if you're for like A, B, and C? Because I'm seeing now people starting to get, I guess we should wait for Sandra, but they getting like, you not for C?
Yeah. No, they get really weird with that. That's I never understand that. That's a real strange thing when that happens. I don't get it. But I definitely know that A is the softer texture. So it's A, and then B, here she comes, is in between. So A, there you are. Yeah, you're back. Okay. So if you're texture 3, I have a board. Y'all talk about this. Let me get the board real quick.
Okay. But Sandra, we're talking about how do you know, like, if you're 4A, 4B, 4C? Oh,
I got the board. Wait, can you see it? I can't see it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can see the board. So
3B and 3C.
The 3s are curly. Okay. Now the A, B, and C part of things is the tightness or the looseness of the texture. So A, where is it? I'm backwards on here. So this is texture 4. And this is what this dedication is about, is texture 4s, right? Texture 4s are generally a zigzag formation. It's coarse. They need more moisture. The hair tends to be drier, and it's tighter. Now the A is the looser texture 4. B is right in the middle, and then C is a tighter, coarser hair. So when you go into the A's, the B's, and the C's, that's when you can say, okay, so my texture is 4 or it's 3, but it's loose, or it's in between, or maybe you have a combination on your head. So that's how you can kind of tell. But 4 is 4. At the end of the day, I don't want people like getting too caught up in like, you're not this, you're not that. Like, we don't need to be divided. It's just hair.
Yeah.
You just need to know what to do.
I get comments sometimes. People are so angry at me because I call myself like 4C, and they're like, you're not 4C. My hair is more coily than yours. I'm like, okay, girl, whatever you want. Like, does it really matter?
Somebody came for me about you. I posted on my page.
Yeah.
Me?
Beautiful 4C. No, Sandra. And they came. It was another hairstylist. He might be on here. I'm not gonna say his name. You know who you are. And he was like, "That's not 4C." And I was like, I literally done her hair, and she actually is okay with it being 4C. So
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so I want to thank you both so much for being here with me.
This has been so fun.
Like it's done already?
It went quick. It went really, really fast. We have 5 minutes left. And let's see. Oh, any tips? Okay. Hi, Jasmine. So I think that for our last question, and anybody out there that didn't get your question answered, definitely please go to askfelicia.com and check out some of the old, or I won't even say old, they're not that old, previous videos, or you can send me a message, which my inbox is looking real crazy right now, at Ask Felicia More, and we can schedule a private consultation. So I have been scheduling private consultations. But for my last question to both of you, and I'll start with Teyonah, there are a lot of teenagers that are getting bullied about their natural hair, and they're looking for inspiration. So what would you say to just kind of something that they can take with them every day to make them feel like queens and be proud of their hair?
I would say, honey, God did not make a mistake when he made you. Your hair may look different than your sisters next to you, or even from your mothers or your aunties, but it is perfect. It is exactly how he intended. And what you have to do is love it, embrace it, and learn how to care for it. That's what I would say.
Yes, that's good. And Sandra?
Just to add to that, I think you have to make yourself feel cute. Ignore the external voices and go for what makes you happy concerning your hair. Because I was that kid. All my other friends were relaxed and their hair was like swaying in the wind, and I had the afro. And I just figured out a style that I liked that day. If no one else did, then oh well. But I was happy with it and I was confident to leave the house. So I think it's about inner confidence, and that will come with time. But learning how to style your hair will definitely help that journey.
And yeah, that takes practice.
It takes practice. And I think, so at 51 years old, you know, without using any bad words, I would say, like, you ain't gonna know these people. Kids are mean. And so it's so crazy, like, honestly, like, if I held on to all the crazy things that I was told as a kid, my self-esteem would be so low. So I think if I had a daughter, I would tell her, like, right now, this seems like a reality for you, what you're going through with your hair. But in essence, when you get older and you actually are empowered to take control of your own hairstyles, all those people who were talking smack are going to look to you for inspiration. So you inspire yourself. You be the person that you look up to. And you also be the one who is like, you make it happen. Like, you're a leader. Like, you be the leader. So forget what everybody else is saying. And you know how we would talk to our kids. We'll say, oh, they're just jealous of you. They're just jealous. That's an easy one right there. They're just jealous. Rock yourself, you know. But thank you both so much. This has been awesome. And I'm so happy. This is my first time on here. And I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so much. Thank you for inviting us. It's been really cool.
And we're gonna just keep loving and dedicating the rest of this month to and actually to our lives. I'm 4C. You just can't tell, but this is just a way for us to realize and to appreciate our hair texture for hair.
So thank you for everything that you do to uplift us chocolate women with this curly hair, and to remind us that it is beautiful, and just your energy and patience. I just always remember, like, you truly do love on our hair. And thank you for spotlighting that and always putting a positive light and reminding us of how beautiful we are and how beautiful our hair is. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll talk to y'all later. Keep using your Felicia Leatherwood brush.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.